So continuing our series of the favorite water cooling cases, today we're going to talk about the Maingear Vibe and what makes this case so awesome for water cooling. So let's get started. Hey guys, Tiago with Classical Technology here. Thank you for joining me for another video. If you like my content, subscribe, smash that like button, leave a comment below. Let's talk about the Maingear Vibe. Now, if you guys know Maingear, they're a boutique PC builder making awesome custom PCs anywhere from regular builds to water-cooled builds. Now, something else that they did, and this isn't the first time, they offered their Maingear Vibe chassis, their newer version, to be sold separately and bought at places like Micro Center or from their own website. Now let's talk about why this case is so awesome for water cooling. We're going to tackle the aesthetics, performance, as well as some other interesting build notes. Now first is the aesthetics. Now when you get this Maingear Vibe case, you can also additionally purchase the Apex water cooling distribution block. This is going to come with a pump. Now I believe this is originally made by Bits Power and you can get it at Micro Center. I believe it's around $150. Now, this distribution panel perfectly fits right in front of the case and it gives the case a really awesome look. Now, these distribution panels have become much more popular lately, but even as of a few years ago, generally you would just have a traditional D5 pump in a cylindrical reservoir. So this case is definitely unique. Another case is the Lian Dynamic in the XL version, where that's probably going to be the most famous case that has this type of distribution block. But this one is pretty cool because it's like right up front. The Lian is usually a little bit more recessed in the back, meaning it's a little bit harder to see sometimes depending how many radiators you have or tubing, while this particular Maingear version is right at the front, so it's very easy and clear to see. Aesthetically, I think it looks absolutely awesome. It comes with an integrated mount for your vertical GPU. Of course, they do make a little separate kit where you just have your PCIe cable and a little riser that just sits there, but in general, it looks absolutely epic when you have your water distribution block as well as your GPU facing the window. That way you get to see your liquid both on your block as well as on your GPU. And this case really is a perfect little compact size where it just becomes like a little gem of water cooling in there, especially if you do some really cool tube runs, maybe bend your own tubes, use some nice fittings here and there. So aesthetically, I think this is one of the best looking sort of mid-tower and smaller computer cases that you can get. And of course, having that distribution panel, the Apex unit, you don't necessarily need it. It just fits in the case so well that I almost feel like it's part of the case, and it really saves room. You can have space in the back of it. You don't have to have a whole, pump and reservoir combo. It definitely allows you to have a lot of flexibility in your design, and I really, really like it. So now let's talk about the performance of this case. When we talk about performance in a water cooling case, we're basically talking about the radiator space as well as the airflow performance. In terms of radiator space, it definitely is very good. You have to remember this isn't a very large case at all. On the top, I put a 240 millimeter radiator, and on the front, another 240 millimeter radiator. Now, on the front, you could fit a 360 as well. You can definitely push it a little bit more. I just wanted to have a little bit more room to sort of finagle my wires around. But in general, radiator space for the size of the case is really excellent. Now, in terms of the airflow performance, you are going to be a little more restricted on the front, but in general, it does have the little slots where the air comes in. And of course, the top performance is pretty good. You have a nice perforated panel on the top, so airflow performance is definitely pretty good for the size of case. Anytime you get to a smaller case like this, of course you do have to make some compromises here or there, but overall, considering the size and aesthetics of the case, it actually performs really, really well. You can fit more than enough radiators. You could do a really nice tightly integrated water cooling loop in this. Of course, because of the size of the case, you're not going to do dual reservoirs and 480 millimeter radiators. If you did, you would have just a massive case, but considering the nice size that this case is, you could definitely fit a lot of water cooling stuff in there, and you could cool pretty much anything that you want, from a 2080 Ti to a 9900K or even like a 3900X Ryzen processor. So this case is definitely capable of cooling high-end hardware in a nice small compact package. And thirdly, for a couple other interesting build notes, we talked about the Apex unit. Just remember that doesn't come with the case. You have to buy that separately along with the PCIe cable. It does come with a slot on the actual case for a vertical GPU. You just have to get that separately. But aside from that, this case really is very high build quality. I got it in the red color just because I thought it was really unique, and I have so many black cases already, but it does come in different colors. There's a variety. So in general, this case is definitely very nicely featured, has more than enough great build quality everywhere. I was really surprised for the price. That's one of the things we didn't talk about yet. This isn't a particularly expensive case. In fact, when I got this, I believe it was maybe like $129. Now they have even cheaper sales. The other day I was at Micro Center and it was under $120. I think there may be a little variation between the colors, but overall it's really not an expensive case at all, considering the build quality and the flexibility that you're getting. For a case this small, being able to fit different water cooling elements and also being designed with that Apex unit in mind really makes it a nicely integrated system. I love building water cooling loops, and when a case is intelligently designed in order to serve your creative needs, I think that's even better than having a case that you have to, work hard to make look good. You have to do a lot of modding to. When a case easily fits your water cooling vision like this, I think it's really spectacular. And aside from that, it just comes with so many neat little extras. Like, it has an RGB controller, has a really cool RGB light on the front, addressable RGB, as that's the newer thing now. Overall, the panels are very nice and easy to take off. So I really enjoyed this case, and it's definitely amongst one of my favorite water cooling cases. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe if you like my content. Smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.